Welcome to Coffee with Viking. I am Mike. Cheers. In today's devotion, responding rightly to evil. Proverbs 24:19 and 20. Don't fret because of evildoers. Don't envy the wicked, for evil people have no future. The light of the wicked will be snuffed out. We've all seen situations like the following. A man leaves his wife and children to be with someone else, and he seems to be wildly happy in his new life. And I'm going to have to correct something here because of my own experiences, but it ain't just men that leave their wives to start off anew with someone else. Women do it too. That goes on both sides. A businessman engages in questionable practices and he prospers financially from his misdeeds. And that happens a lot more than we realize. Or a backbiting coworker somehow gets promoted to a higher paying job over someone clearly more qualified. When we see people profiting from the evil they do, it's easy to feel angry, even a little envious. What then happens? We want to cry out to God or to anyone who will listen. It's not fair. And one lesson in life we learn is that it isn't fair. But in most cases, there's not much we can do when things become unfair. The fact that you recognize the unfairness of situations like the ones above says a lot about your sense of right and wrong. But as today's verses point out, it's not good or helpful to dwell on your anger at the But as today's verses point out, it's not good or helpful to dwell on your anger at the hurt evil men cause others. Instead, focus on the good things God has promised those who live right, treat others justly, and trust in God to one day make things right. Father, I sometimes find myself feeling angry or envious of those who seem to prosper from their misdeeds. Forgive me for those feelings. Help me to focus on living the life you have for me, knowing that the rewards will be glorious, eternal ones. But the thing with life is, it really isn't fair. We see a lot of people corrupt the system just so they can get ahead. Or they will make something up about someone else to get promoted before them, or we will see families fall apart because lust steps in, or pride steps in too, and there's a lot of fights that in relationships. And the thing with life is, there's a lot of unfair that happens in this life. We live in a dark and broken world. But if we stay focused on God, on all the promises He has already kept, and all the promises that we are still awaiting on, like eternal paradise with Him. If we look at Christ and we see everything He endured, that wasn't fair either. Even Even the criminal on the cross said that he didn't even deserve to be there because he'd done no wrong. So, unfair things do happen. But sometimes those unfair things need to happen to either teach us a lesson or because God has something better in store than what we thought we wanted. And when we look toward Him and we stay strong in prayer and in faith and in His Word, we know that those greater things will come in His perfect timing. Now, just because greater things are coming don't mean we won't have to endure the storm for a little while. But we will have the sun shining through it. And He will never leave us nor forsake us. He will lead us through. So it is never good to focus on our anger towards other people. And it's hard for me to say any of this because there's times my anger will take over too. But I do know that when we look at Christ and we let Him calm us down, let Him be our calm in the storm, that everything does get better because His plan is perfect. So if you're angry at someone who done you wrong, if you're angry at someone at work that lied on you, or if you've been through anything rough in a relationship, forgive them. Put it in God's hands and trust in Him. He will make things right. Stay blessed. Stay caffeinated. And just know that God loves you and He's got your back. Much love.